Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Midway Games, the YouTube series all about everything having to do with amusement park video games, but it's mostly Planet Coaster, and that is exactly what we are playing today. I'm going right in and adding some more rocks around the mountain over here just to make it a little bit larger in size. And right now I'm actually adding a cover to this sort of portion of the queue that goes under the roller coaster. That would absolutely be necessary in real life. You would need a cover there just in case something falls off the track or something, some sort of loose article flies off the ride at that point so it doesn't hit guests in ride. You would absolutely need sort of a structure there. Plus it also looks sort of nice, so it sort of functions both ways for practical reasons and aesthetic reasons. So I'm adding it in specifically to cover the guests, but also because it looks nice. I'm sort of changing up as I go, though. I didn't really like the way it was looking, so I'm adding a more curved wooden roof around the edge, and then I'm going to adjust the supports likewise, as you will see here in just a second. I adjust the supports, I move them around so it makes sense for the new structure, because you don't want just random things strewn around, if you will. After that, I'm just sort of, again, adjusting more supports, doing more stuff for this cover here, basically making it look as nice as I can. Adding supports fairly close together because they're supporting the entire middle of the thing. There's going to be one that's in the center. You'll see it in a second when I actually add the roof on in a minute. But I'm just adding supports around the edges. One, to make it look nicer. The supports make it look more realistic. And two, well, there isn't really a two, is there? It's really just the first one. So now I'm actually adding the roof for it all around the edges of the guard, just to make the whole thing complete. What's the point of a guard if it's just the edges? And then there's that center support that really holds the whole thing in place as the queue goes underneath. So that sort of adds a nice little bit of shade when you're waiting in that portion of the queue, perhaps. I'm also going in a second and adding some theming to this area. I add a couple rocks to see how it looks, and I decide I don't really like the way it looks. So I go and just add some crates, barrels, stuff like that to sort of go with the whole theme of the entire ride, which actually, if you don't know, I'll explain the whole theme right now. So this is a ride that's sort of themed to a mining operation inside of a mountain, and in the middle of the mining operation, something goes wrong, and a bunch of miners get trapped inside the mountain. And so it's your job, aka the rider's job, to go in and blast through the walls of the mountain and rescue the miners inside the mountain. The attraction I'm naming Dynamo Mountain. It's just sort of it really fits with the whole theme. I'm adding some more little knickknacks along the edges of the queue in this little valley section almost, seeing what I like there. I don't really like the railway there. I don't think it looks great. And I believe I end up going with some shovels and some pickaxes just to sort of fit with the more mining theme. This is sort of like an outdoor area where they're holding a lot of their mining stuff to bring inside later. Adding a bunch of crates, TNT stuff, eventually the pickaxes there, just to really fill in this area. You don't want like huge empty sections of queue just like that are just nothing there. So you want to fill in your area as much as possible, really get everything and make it look really detailed. The more stuff that's in there, the better your ride will really look, as long as it matches your theme. You don't just want random stuff thrown all about, because then it will look bad. Adding some animatronics in there, just a little cowboy kicking his heel. Covering up some of the footers with the rocks. The footers really take you out of the immersion sometimes, so just covering them up. A lot of amusement parks will do that in real life with rock work, adding some rock work right now and some other prickly pear cactuses. Really just filling in any gaps that I possibly can fill in this little valley area. Filling in gaps, like I said, is really important. You don't want just empty space where nothing is happening at all. Filling in gaps is the best way possible to really bring a whole area together instead of just having it being empty space. But yeah, just filling in gaps the best that I can, looking at sightlines, seeing how the coaster interacts with this portion of the queue. Really testing to see what I like, putting in a bunch of different figures in an area, seeing what makes the most sense. I end up going with some more crates and another animatronic right there, some more pickaxes on the side of the wall. Anything that really fits with the theme, like I said earlier, is just really great for for being part of your queue. Adding some lanterns in for light, that'll really help light up this area at night. It also fits with the theme. They're little lanterns that fit with the theme. Eventually, I'll probably light up this area of the queue with area lights as well. Adding in some more crates and a little minecart in the back just to make that area look a little bit more full from the coaster's perspective, not really from the queue's perspective, because you won't be able to see this little bit of theming from that perspective too much. But on the coaster, this will really help make that little back area of the structure look a little bit more themed. And it'll actually add a nice little near-miss effect with that little minecart over there. But pretty much just going through and filling up stuff, adding little knickknacks and theming. That's pretty much all I do for the next few minutes. So I'm going to leave you to it with some music. Enjoy. So now I'm just sort of adding some rocks in this area, making it look a little bit more full. I don't want the rocks to just sort of look like they're confounded by the coasters and they don't sort of extend out. I want it to more look like the roller coaster's going through the rocks, not that the rocks are like in the middle of the roller coaster. Over here, I'm actually adding more to the whole mountain itself. I'm adding the back of the mountain, covering up this little bit of exposed ride area over here, making it look just more like an actual mountain instead of exposed ride right there, making it blend in, doing some more rock work, just covering the whole area up, making it look a whole lot nicer than it did a few minutes ago. That's all I do for the next few minutes, so once again, I'm going to leave you with some music. Enjoy. Now I'm going in and just adding some more cactuses to the side of the mountain, really making the mountain pop with color and more vibrance. Adding sort of foliage and stuff really makes the mountain look more like an actual mountain instead of just a bunch of rocks, and it really differentiates the whole thing from itself. And that's pretty much all I do for the next few minutes, so once again, I'm going to leave you with some music from Planko. Enjoy. So now I'm just sort of going in and adding some more rock work to the side of the mountain to really make it less of a sheer cliff of repetitive rocks and more of a gradual slope up the mountain. I'm also covering some more of the exposed ride, the more inside of the structure in there, and really making the outside, the facade of the whole ride look as nice as possible and as realistic as possible. Make it look as much like an actual mountain as possible. Just covering it with rocks, filling in all the gaps around the sort of exit of the ride where it comes out, making it look like it's really a mine tunnel that's been carved into the side of a ride. Or a mountain, should I say. And that's pretty much all I do for the next couple minutes, so I'll leave you with some music. Enjoy. Sadly, I actually did lose a little bit of footage here. It was mainly of me adding the train into the western area a little bit. It was about 30 minutes worth of footage that I lost, so I am sorry about that, but there's nothing we can do. So as you can see, I'm going right in and creating a plaza for the ride over here. I need a nice little entryway that really pops to have the guests really have an awesome new like a reveal experience when they walk into the area and they see Dynamo Mountain off to the left. I'm also adjusting the queue of Rampage, the wooden coaster, which don't worry, we will work on that soon. I'm adding a bunch of rocks around the area, really filling the whole thing in with rocks, and I'm actually going to add some more like rock towers outside of the boundaries of the coaster helixes to really make it more full and make the coaster seem more like it's running through the mountains instead of the mountains being encased by the coaster. So that's what I do for the next few minutes, so I will leave you with some coaster audio. Enjoy. And this is where sightlines really become important. I looked over and I realized that that spire right there was really blocking the view of the mountain entering the park, and I really didn't want that. So I moved the whole thing all the way to the side so that it was no longer blocking the view of the mountain, which is really important because when the guests were walking into the area, I really wanted to get that grand reveal with the mountain there and the coaster running through the rocks and stuff. And that pillar right there was really blocking the view of the mountain and really prohibiting that view, which was a very excellent view, and I really didn't want that. So I moved the spire. I go back to sort of creating more spires and just filling in the area with rocks and foliage and cactuses the best that I can. So with that, I will leave you with some music while I do that. Enjoy. I start to add some bushes in between the gaps in the rocks to really fill that area in. I didn't want just straight ground terrain. Having as little exposed straight ground terrain really makes an area look nice and pop in Planet Coaster, so I'm just filling it in with these lovely creosote bushes to really make the area pop. While I do that, I'll leave you with some music, so enjoy. that will do it for this week's episode of Midway Games. I hope you guys all enjoyed this episode, as I have an absolute blast making them. The Planet Coaster episodes are really so much fun to make, and they really get me motivated to actually work on my park. The next time I post, I'm actually going to be posting 2 videos, so make sure to stay tuned for that. Until then, have a great time, and I'll see you all next time. Goodbye!